Hi guys, a few days ago I made a video which has been containing some severe misinformation. It's just because I have been falling to something what is kind of logical to me. It was when Adobe Photoshop 24.7.0 was released, and I just assumed that it will contain Generative Fill, because otherwise that makes no logical sense. So, okay, it's Adobe. Sometimes it does not make any logical sense. And of course, the release of Photoshop 24.7.0 was without Generative Fill, whereas the beta of 24.7.0 still had Generative Fill. And so I made a video saying you can remove the beta version and replace it with the release, because the release has now also Generative Fill, and that's my fault. I did that without checking before, because to me it just was logical. So sometimes things are not as logical as they should be, and it was not like so. Sorry for that misinformation. A completely different thing is Adobe came out with the new beta, and it contains now also a new generative function, and it's called Generative Expand. What does that mean? I have here the Photoshop beta, I have here the Photoshop, the release, and just for showing to you, I just selected this part to show you there is no Generative Fill here. Let's unselect this. Then let's get the lasso tool, just select that a little bit, and here we have Generative Fill. That's now, that's currently the beta about Photoshop. It's the 25.0.0. And I deleted. What it does, it comes with a completely new function, and it's called Generative Expand. So if you change to the crop tool, you see the Generative Fill changes to Generative Expand. And even if I have here the object opened, just for those who don't know, if you select in Adobe Camera Raw, or if you come from Lightroom, in Lightroom you can select Open Object. In Adobe Camera Raw you can select, instead of Open, if you click on the tiny triangle, you can select Open Object. That's the default my Adobe Camera Raw settings. And just let's go back, and then you can open a raw file as object. You get this smart object thumbnail here, but in this case, if you open it as object, it is no smart object. It is in fact the raw file, and you have here all the editing possibilities retained if you open that as object. It will end in a very much larger PSD file, but it's kind of interesting. If you crop the image, the Photoshop files will become much smaller instead of if you have the full image. Especially interesting with images from high resolution cameras, such as maybe Nikon D850, which is 45 megapixels. This is taken with the D6. And anyway, if I crop that like so, and I open that, I click here cancel because it's already opened. I open that to Photoshop. The file size of the Photoshop file becomes smaller. The smaller the crop is, even if it has to store somewhere all the raw file information. It's just like it is. I don't know why. Good it is like so. You can save a lot of space. The new Beta 25 comes with a new generative tool, and it's called Generative Expand. And it's doing awesome things for you. If you click here on the crop tool, it automatically initiates Generative Expand. You can also select it here by default, or Generative Expand. And now, if I click the option for just expanding the crop starting in the center, I click here option and drag this like so, and click here on Generate, let the tool do its job, and it delivers, and it delivers. Come on, this awesome results, where already the first variation is absolutely excellent. That's the cloud a little bit different. That's a little bit less clouds, but I personally like that most. Here the sky is simply blue. The clouds are so you have at least 5 to 10 minutes work to simulate the cloud similar like this here, and you have expanded that image to a perfectly I see here here. Okay, I think that is the, if I zoom in quite a lot, you see here there is a banding, and I think that's because I'm here for sure over that what it is, 1080 pixel limits to do a perfect job. And let's check the clouds here below. That resolution looks pretty good. So what you can do is you can here take for example the blur tool, put the strength a little bit up. Oops. Okay, so let's rasterize this and blur that here a little bit, and there is still some kind of markings in. Yeah, spinning wheel of death. That was a little bit too much. Let's zoom in. You see there is still some bending here. I'm gonna turn off the mask. And let's get the mixer brush tool with some settings I like, and let's apply here. Let's do a good job with the mixer brush tool and just make this this bending going away. Okay, that should be now fine. Okay, now we have here a seamless, let's switch on the mask. Yeah, that mask also must be a little bit modified because the edge is too hard. Let's take a normal brush. Let's go back to the normal brush tool, and with the flow of about 40, that's kind of perfect. Let's go like so, and with the white brush I just make here the transition a little bit smoother, and that edge is gone. Now it looks perfectly. That is a little bit a problem here. Hello Adobe, maybe you're listening. That there has been a slightly difference in exposure and brightness. Okay, so that's better like so. Yeah, and that's the Generative Expand. By the way, there is also a reason why you need that mask. Generative Fill, at least in the beta, still works with a very low resolution. And if you don't have that mask, you see, that's what the Generative Fill does to the whole image, and for that you need the mask because you want your true image, your higher resolution image below retained, and for that you must use the mask. And if you have transitions like I have been editing right now before, you must blur that and manually. It's also here in the cloud, the resolution is not as high, but it's already completely blurred, and for that it's fine in this section of the image. That's the reason why the mask is there. Please like and subscribe and help to grow this channel so I can make more videos like that, which hopefully help you, and wish you a nice day. Bye bye.